How do you treat Christmas?
We all celebrated at the Cave household.
Did you go to midnight mass?
No.
No mass?
No mass. No mass. No. No. Didn't go to any mass. I looked after my rapidly expanding family and spent the day with my Melbourne contingent, and it was very nice.
Is Jethro here with you too?
Jethro's in Melbourne, but he's not with me.
But you still see him?
Yeah, I still see him, yeah.
Do you find parenting tough?
No, not really. I mean, it's exhausting. And we have two twins at 6 months, and they don't sleep, and night follows day, and it's all one kind of long thing. But I don't mind it really. I never slept much anyway, and it seems to be good, you know.
And Luke, he's about 8
Luke's
now.
Luke's 9.
9.
And he's fantastic.
Do you ever have Sunday afternoon sessions where you rip out your birthday party records and say, Luke, this is what...
No, I don't. I keep that very quiet. He thinks, which quite rightly so, that I'm a miserable old fart who sits at the piano and kind of moans on, and he can't bear the sound of it. He wants me to play real music, like Green Day and stuff like that, and I just kind of quietly keep my mouth shut, really.
That doesn't affect you, him not wanting to hear your music?
I don't think it's a good thing. I don't really think a child should, should be that way. You know, it's part of being young is to despise what your parents do, or for a while at least. It'll come around in the end.
Do you see any of you percolating down to him, the feelings and attitudes?
I do a lot, yeah. I see a lot of his reaction to the way I parent him was very much the same as mine was to my father, and I see that I'm very similar to the way my father did things as well. You're suddenly often hit by that. Thank God I've been here before, only on the other end,
Does that mean you don't like it sometimes?
No, I like it.
Would you hope that your children have the same love of literature that your father shared with you, and as obviously you do as well?
Well, it would be a good thing. It certainly benefited me a lot, and my father really imposed a lot of his ideas onto me, but I'm very grateful that he did. At the time it was a bit, some of it was quite difficult to comprehend really, but I'm very glad about that. I mean, it had I didn't know it at the time, but it was having a massive effect on me.
Yeah, I guess part of a role of a parent is to challenge. Would you say?
Yeah.
We were given opportunity yesterday, Richard Kingsmill and Murray and I, to have a listen to the album.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know whether I wanted to run out of the room holding my neck or grabbing my heart or head all at once. It was so overwhelmingly powerful.
Oh, good. That's nice to hear.
When you heard it for the first time, apart from while you were writing it, what did you feel?
I felt actually what I always feel really for when I listen to a record that I've just made. I feel a kind of sense of relief that it's done. Always a slight disappointment, and a kind of healthy sort of lump of disgust. Once you're in the studio for a couple of months, and it's very intense. It's very much like waking up after being at some kind of party with a hangover. You just don't want to kind of remember it. It's you put so much energy into something, and at the end of the day, you've got this little thing, and you think this is it. I mean, I really like this record, and I'm really pleased with this record. But it's always like that with a record, and I guess that's the kind of, in a way, it's a healthy kind of thing. It makes you almost automatically reject what you've done before and move on, and sort it out on the next record, type of thing. I think a lot of musicians feel that way about what they do. A lot of painters feel that way about what they do. Certainly, they turn up to their exhibition and look at all their paintings that they've done and think, is this all, is this it, type of thing. And that's a kind of hungry feeling to do better and to do more.
Even with the potency of words like Love Letter and No More Shall We Part, you don't feel a twinge of pride at the end?
I do. I mean, I do when I'm writing these songs, and that's pretty much what the reason why I'm in this business is that I can start from nothing and build up a song, and I find that I do find that genuinely exciting experience. I'm often very, very happy with what I write. Like, I look at it and I think, fuck, that's really good, or it's a good song, but that's a long way back. That's, when I'm writing the songs on my own in an office. By the time it actually, then I play the songs hundreds of times to myself and work them out and play around with these words and work the whole lot out. By the time it gets into the studio and by the time I've recorded it, it's like, it's time to say goodbye to that particular thing. So you're listening to it from a completely different point of view than I am. It's something that I've done and is past, and it's something that you've just heard. So we're talking about two different things, really. I don't know anyone who goes into the studio that doesn't really come out of working in the studio with a sense of depression about what they've, with a once it's all over, a kind of a kind of post-studio lull, But that just keeps you working. It's good.
But in terms of actually writing the lyrics of something like 15 Feet of Pure White Snow, does that come in a flurry of inspiration? Or
I just bashed that out pretty quickly, that one.
Did any of the others happen like that?
God Is in the House was pretty quick. Some took a lot longer, and I worked on them for a very long time. Dark with the Day, which is some of those very long songs had a lot of work go into them. I mean, I don't really even really know too much. I go into the office from 9 o'clock in the morning and leave about 6 o'clock at night every day, except Sundays, where I stay home, and I work. I work at it, and I work on the songs, and I do that without fail. That's a priority. And I find I can get an enormous amount of work done. I can write a lot. I came into the studio with so many songs this time. A lot of songs, way too many songs for an album. And I find it a very beneficial way to work, with structure and discipline, really.
You feel the need for that to be able to
I do.
get up and get
I just
out
feel
of bed.
that I've got a certain amount of time to do what I'm doing. The more I do, the more I progress, the more I can get done. It's the faster forward I can move. And if I sit around with a notepad in my pocket waiting for inspiration to hit me, I'll write 2 lines a week, or if that, and go into the studio with 3 or 4 songs like I often have in the past. Where studio sessions are a desperate scramble to get material together, and that's okay. It suited me for a while, but I don't really. I find it a bit of a waste of time, really. The clock is ticking.
The prominence of your vocals on this record, would it be...
But how loud they are.
How loud they are, but also as a sense of more relaxed, or are you more comfortable with how you're sounding?
Do you think they sound too loud?
No, not at all.
No.
And the lack of disguise too of, I guess God Is in the House was the only one that was obviously disguised because it's such a piss take, but all the others, it just seemed it was you there, gorgeous, big, loud.
Yeah, I mean, all of the songs are pretty much recorded in the same way as we've done in here. We just sat down. I had the songs worked out. The band were taught them. We just sat around. I played and sang them at the piano. The vocals that you're hearing, the vocals that were the live vocals that were done. There's relatively small amount of overdubbing done on the record, so it's all. It all sounds. It's actually quite strange because it has a very solid studio feel to it, but there's very little mucking around with these songs. There's some strings put on some of them, but apart from that, there's very little playing around with them, which is I really like that about the record.
And was it a case with this, as in the past, that you deliver the songs to the Bad Seeds and then they interpret them how they feel, or what was the procedure? I
mean, I think I had a clearer idea of how I wanted certain songs to be. Some songs in the studio really surprised me how they developed. They developed in a much more complete way with the Bad Seeds playing them that I was able to do on the piano. Some of the lesser songs turned out to be really good ones, and perhaps that actually says something about allowing the band, bringing an idea that isn't so formed and letting them work it out.
For instance?
Darker with the Day, the final song, didn't really work with me just playing it and singing it on the piano. Everyone was like, well, it's kind of not a hell of a lot going on there. And once the band actually worked on it, turned it into something quite great, I think, that song. But you've got to remember, I'm in the studio in my office writing these songs, and that's all I was really doing for a year, and I worked on them perhaps too much, or I thought about them perhaps too much. And I mean, it just happened that way. Perhaps the next record I might relax that a little bit and come in with the songs not quite so formed. Mainly because it ends up being a piano-dominant record, which is okay, but I wouldn't want to make endless records like that.
But natural to be that close to something that
yeah,
you're obviously passionate about.
It's just the way these songs are put together. But that's what kind of happens. The record suggests a way forward for the next one. So I'm pleased about that.
With each record, I guess there's been a turning point for the band. If there was to be one with this record, what would it be?
Sorry?
If there's a new direction or a change for the band, do you think this is taking the band somewhere that it hasn't been, or was it a conscious thing?
I think it was quite a different session than they're all different. We've done so many. They always end up very different. There's very different atmospheres about the records. Some are really fraught and panicky. This one was very confident and relaxed, I would say, simply because we had the material and we knew that was there, so we didn't have to worry about that. We just had to record the songs. There wasn't a mad fucking scrabble of churning out lyrics and hoping they were all right, and hit friends with the thesauruses out trying to find decent words for you to use, and this kind of little factory trying to make the songs, which can work quite nicely, but you often get a lot of substandard tracks on the record, and I don't really feel that that's the case with this record. I like pretty much everything that's on there, really.
With the self-confidence and relaxation have come from you as well, do you think?
I had this little band that I actually played in Australia with this, with Warren and a couple of members, a couple of people. And I did quite a lot of shows like that. And that was pretty much, sitting at the piano and singing. And if it didn't, there was no, if it didn't work on that level, then the thing was a disaster. So it had to work on that level. So I had to work at that quite a lot. Spend a lot of time playing the piano, which was something that, I kind of can do all right now, but I couldn't really do very well before, particularly sing and play the piano at the same time. Singing and playing the piano at the same time has changed the way that I actually sing or approach a song singing-wise, because I have to concentrate on other things. I'm not so I don't feel I'm loading the meaning of the song so much. They just sort of come out as they do, and that's it, And I like that too about this record.
Yeah, you get an incredible sense of that.
It's just happened, and whatever happens type of thing. So there's a loss of control about things like that, which is quite nice. Things get thrown up in the air. The songs that are on this record, if we were to play them again, they would be very different. They would be different versions. There wasn't any particular version that we had. We just sort of played them as they came, if you understand what I mean.
Similar to what we saw today.
Yeah.
You've been public about that sadness being a dominant theme, not just in what you create, but in your life. Would you say that you're happy?
I feel a bit uncomfortable with that, really.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Life's pretty good.
Well, your happy moments outweigh any other?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I've got a lot of really good things in my life, and I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah.
Family, the main source.
Family, I'm working well. Lots coming out. There's the family. Got a beautiful wife. I guess life is much more clearer, and there's certain things that I value, and I pretty much spend my time looking after those things. And there's a lot of the other stuff I don't really have the time to sort of involve myself with, really. So
something like the Mercy Seat, I've just got the wind up there. Something like the Mercy Seat, you said God is always near. Would you say in this record he's closer than ever?
I think it's all informed in that way. I just don't think it's a record where I'm feeling any need to sort of trumpet that from the rooftops. I think there's a quiet, there's a deep sense of discomfort on this record, like there always is, and I think that comes through with repeated listenings. But there's a quiet spirituality going on there,
So the discomfort coming from your struggle with spirituality rather than anything that's going on outside.
I think it's coming from the world being a cruel and brutal place, really.